All right, we're going to take a short break, and the Managing Director of Insecticides India, that's a buzzing stock, will be joining us. Mr. Rajesh Aggarwal, he'll be joining just in a couple of minutes.
At 8 points on the Nifty right now. 8,093 is where the index is at this stage. Let's just put the Insecticides India stock up and take a look at what's happening. Mr. Rajesh Aggarwal, Managing Director of the company, is with us from Delhi. It's 0.5% lower right now, 775. Mr. Aggarwal, good morning, sir. Prashant here. 70%. 70% rally in the price of your stock, in the market value of your company in the last 1 month. Mr. Aggarwal, what's going on?
I believe that we have been working fine actually for quite some time, and we have done a lot of expansion. Now these expansions are showing some results actually. Maybe that is the reason, because I always believe that we are not getting the right valuation from the market, and our valuation was too low actually. Like, we have invested around 250 crores in last 5 years in our various plants actually, where we have done a major expansion in Gujarat, and we have set up a Dahej unit which has started performing, and this year it will cross the break-even figures and will show some profitability. Apart from that, we have also expanded in Rajasthan by setting up a new formulation unit here, and we also expanded our technical plant here in Rajasthan again. And in Jammu Kashmir also, we have 2 plants actually, wherein we have completed one big expansion in Sabha plant recently. So I believe this is the result of the expansions and maybe the new products we are launching, and of course the R&D activities which we are doing in a big way. They might also be the resultant of this.
So have you had any interaction with analysts, people in the market, investors who might hold your stock, and explain this case to them? Has there been any additional investor interest that you've had personally? Yes.
I'll not say that we have some additional aggressive interest, but yes, there were some conferences in Mumbai. So I have attended our conference recently, and of course when people showed the interest and wanted to know about the capabilities of the company, they were aptly explained.
You know, if I look at the rate of revenue growth for you, or the rate at which your profits have been growing, right? They've actually, you know, the projection. I mean, I can look at the projections, or I can look at what the numbers in fiscal 14 saw a big jump. But if I look at fiscal 15 projection, 16 projection, 17 projection, and these are analysts who track your company, they're pretty steady. I mean, there is no strong, steady rates of growth. When you said earlier that you felt that the company was undervalued, can you just talk about that? Why you believe that the company was undervalued?
Yes. When I say company is undervalued, that I say because the paraphernalia which we have created, like now we have established 6 units actually. We are formulating in 5 locations, and I believe it is one of the biggest facility for pesticide formulations. And again, if I talk about the active ingredients, then we have established about 10 lines, 7 in Gujarat, 3 in Rajasthan, and we are also going to install 2 further lines actually in 2015, which will make it 12 streams. And I believe that is again one of the largest varieties actually. And due to the establishments, I believe that we are going to grow in next 3 years by 30% per annum on an average. So which should be able to double, we should be able to double ourselves in 3 years actually. And not only the top line will grow due to the introduction of certain new generation molecules, which include the off-patented molecules basically, I believe that the bottom line will also grow in a big way. So looking at the investments we have made and the readiness what we have, I believe that we were undervalued.
You're saying...
like if I talk about this fiscal 2015, yeah.
Go on.
Talking about this year, actually, we have shown a decent growth in the first quarter. The second quarter also was not very interesting because July and August were drought months and we saw some rainfall only in September actually. Despite of that, we are growing in a reasonably good way, and I believe that we should be able to post good top line. And in terms of bottom line also, we'll see very good improvement in our company in this year. Like it will be a little early to say, but I can say what we did in the complete year, we should be able to cross the bottom line in the 6 months itself.
Okay, all right. Just to go back to the point, you said that the sales of the company will double in the next 3 years, right?
Yeah, the top line will double actually.
And what about profits?
It should double. Profit, of course, there will be little more increase in the profits because our estimation is that there should be on an average about 250 to 300 points improvement in the profit in next 3 years, which you can divide by 3. Then if we divide by 3, about 100 basic points per annum. So that is the assumption.
Would you say that for a company in your business, right? The demand is not a problem. It's basically how much you can produce, and you've talked a lot about expansion, and it's about reaching the consumers. So it's about how wide your distribution network is, because India, I believe, is still largely a generic, unbranded market, right? I mean, there are lots of players, but not everybody has the reach that the larger players have. Is that the biggest competitive advantage you have?
Yes, you are true to an extent, but I will say that the brands play a very important role in India. And our focus, the first focus has always been keeping the best brands in our range actually. And I have always tied up for brands. I have purchased brands for the generic products wherever possible. The second USP which we followed, that was that we bring the off-patented products to India and take them to the farmer at competitive prices. At one place, we are giving their choicest brand. At the second place, we are trying to bring them the new technology at competitive prices. And apart from that, to bring the patented technology in their reach, we collaborated with a Japanese company called Nissan to launch 2 products, and we are working on several more with them. And apart from that, we are also trying to do the basic research in the country for invention of new product, for which we have set up an R&D center in a collaboration with a Japanese company called OAT, and we are trying to give these products also. As you said, that reach is something very, very important, and that is something what we have done in the last 12 years of our inception, because we have always expanded the market, tried to find out the gaps in the market, in the product range what we have, and we have tried to fill it actually. So we create demand from the market and then expand, and then we are able to take it to the market. So to popularize your product or to create the demand or create the pull from the market, you have to work with the farmer. We have increased our sales force in last 3 years. We have almost doubled our sales force from 200 to 400. So that is the reason I am so confident that we are regularly in touch with the farmers, working with the farmers, advertising our brands, trying to provide the consumer the full satisfaction, and that is the reason that there is a pull from the market and we should be able to sell what we are producing.
Mr. Aggarwal, good morning. This is Anindya from the Delhi studio. Just wanted your sense, Prashant was talking about there being no real limit to demand in the market. But if one looks at what has happened with the monsoons, have you seen a bit of a shrinking in demand?
Yes, actually, the second quarter plays a very important role for the agrochemical industry.
Yeah.
Generally, I say second quarter gives the 40% business to any company, and when there is a slightest drought-like position or flood-like position, is definitely has the impact over the business. So agrochemicals are
So
not
what is that
something
specifically
which is
for your
by
company,
choice.
sir?
It
How
is by
have you
default.
been
You have to
affected?
use it. Basically, it's a necessity. I would say that generally, if the season is very good, then my target suppose is 40% from the second quarter.
Yeah.
I can go to 45 or 50%. If the market is bad, then it comes down to 30-35%. But for us, actually, we should be able to cross 40% what we had planned for this quarter. We should be able to cross it. Had there been good rains, then there was a possibility of touching 50% since we had already expanded our capacities.
I'm looking at the product profile that you have, and I'm seeing that one of your key herbicides, which is about 4% of your total sales, is essentially aimed at the tea growers. Now, there's been a bit of a slowdown there. Have you faced any slowdown in terms of demand from tea space?
No, I don't think that we have suffered in tea. Basically, rather, Assam was a market where we entered very late, and we are always continuously expanding our market share in that market. So at the moment, we are on the growth path in that area. And also, the introduction in the tea segment of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka was a little late actually. Okay. So again, we see growth there for us.
Mr. Aggarwal, in the last 2 to 3 years, what we've seen across the rural area is farm labor costs have gone up, agricultural labor wages have gone up, and which has kind of depressed the kind of hiring in the space which is just aimed at picking out herbs. Picking out weeds and herbicides, where you actually look at the weeds, take them out.
True.
Now we're seeing that real growth in agricultural labor wages is actually now almost is zero, and some project that it's going to be negative. Do you fear that labor is going to replace some of your products?
No, I don't think that actually. As the awareness goes up, then you are bound to use more chemicals actually to protect. And like if we look at the labor cost used to be nominal or marginal. It has gone up to about 400 rupees per day. So when at such a high labor cost, if you have to do the weeding manually, that may cost not less than 2,000 rupees to 3,000 rupees per acre of land.
Okay.
But if you have to use the chemical, it can be from 300 rupees to 500 rupees per acre. So it is very cheap to the farmer, and it provides the complete solution. Because it will not spare any weed actually. It will give you the absolute control. By hand, the labor may miss some things actually.
So you're saying that labor costs will have to come down dramatically for it to be any risk for you?
Yes, and which is not possible actually.
Which is not possible.
The way country is developing, so that is not possible.
Okay, what about genetically modified crops? GM crops, for instance. They come inbuilt with their own kind of herbicides and pesticides.
GM crops have... yeah, that's true actually. But GM crop has always improved the market conditions actually. Like in India, we have GM only in cotton. And that too is for the control of bollworm.
Yeah.
So, number one, I believe that you cannot eradicate a species from the environment. Like bollworm, which was a very dreaded disease or dreaded problem, pest infestation for cotton, is no more in cotton now. But the control from Bolgard 1, which was the first generation introduction, was 90 days. From BG2, the control is about 125 days. Even after that, if there is an attack of bollworm, then they have to use the specialty pesticide for controlling the bollworm. Lekin apart from bollworm, now the investment as seed has multiplied. Farmer today is using 2 packets of BT seeds, which are costing him not less than 1,500 rupees. In the past, the investment in seed was 100 rupees. So the more you are investing, the more is your zeal to protect it actually. So now he is using herbicide, he is using fungicide, PGR and more insecticides.
Very interesting. You're saying that actually GM crop usage has increased the amount of usage of... You're saying GM crop seeds usage has increased the amounts of insecticides and herbicides rather than reduce it?
I will say that it has increased the profitability of the farmer because a particular pest infestation, which was very high, it used to kill the farmer. Now farmer is making money out of cotton, so he's protecting cotton. When he is protecting, he is using 6-7 sprays, but it has not eradicated the sprays in totality. Still cotton consumes 30 to 35% of the market share of pesticide what are sold.
Okay. Sir, I wanted to get a sense of your working capital days, because that has been a concern for the markets, for investors as well, with your company. How are you seeing that?
I agree. Actually, my working capital days were around 90 days and it crossed 100 days actually in the last year. So the new facility which we had set up in Dahej at Gujarat, that was not performing well because initially we tried to do some generic products there, and then we identified that with the generics I cannot meet out the cost of such a large plant, and I started doing some new generation products. When I manufactured new generation products in the last year, I could not achieve the desired quantity. Like by sweating the asset 100%, I could hardly achieve 50% production. So I went into a shutdown in December and planned to revamp my unit actually. And I wanted to start from March, but I could start only in May. So there was a delay in starting of the plant, and raw materials were already bought actually, because we have to buy the raw materials from the international market, and we start our buying from October, November, planning for the next year. So which has increased the raw material levels in our factory, and due to that actually the total stocking went up to 400 crores. But you will start seeing the downfall now. I believe by the end of this second quarter, this level will come down to 350 crores, and by December it should again touch 300 crores, which should be the reasonable level for us. So then the working capital days you will see coming down. Like there will be some downfall by September, and by December that will be normalized.
So at the end of FY14, I think the working capital days were about 67. Where are you now?
I believe they were around 90. 67 may be a very old figure, I am not sure. So at the moment we are around 100, 105.
Oh,
we were around 100, 105 in June actually. I am not sure about now because it should be on the reducing trend.
Okay. So you're expecting it to go below 100 right now? In a while? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
All right. Our figure here seems to be wrong. We have a
yes, that is something I am saying.
We have
it will come below 100 and by the year end it should touch 90 again.
Okay. And you said that raw materials you have to buy earlier. I understand that about 30% of your raw materials are imported, right?
Yes.
So you wouldn't have
active ingredient plant, in the technical plant, more than 60% are imported actually.
Okay. So you would have actually not got much benefit of the rupee strengthening from the end of April. You would have actually had a bit of a impact of currency, right?
This year there is no impact, it's a benefit actually. In the sense, in the last 2 years we have lost almost 8 to 10 crores per annum on the currency account. But this year I think there is no negative contribution so far.
And you expect that your currency hedges are going to be in the positive?
It's a benefit because no loss.
So you'll get a forex gain, that's what you're expecting?
I'm not sure positive or negative, but at least it will be neutral. If I'm not able to make money, then I'll not be losing money also in this year, it appears.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Aggarwal. Pleasure having you on our show today.
Thanks a lot.
Ashok Gautam from Axis.